Welcome into the MasterChef kitchen, folks. It's another Wednesday night, 6:30. So this is what it's about. You're in my home and we're cooking through another delicious, super quick meal tonight. And we're going to spend a few minutes checking in and see how everyone's doing, get your last minute prep done, run through some ingredients. We're a couple minutes late getting things up and running. There's some tech bugs in the background. So we'll get started in 4 or 5 minutes. I first want to check in and see how you guys are all doing. As a reminder, what you're here for is a butter curry Bani. Absolutely fantastic, loads of flavor, some variations on it that I'll run you through as we go. And we'll get to the ingredients in a little bit once we've all said hello. So let me know who's all here, how you guys are doing, and if you're looking forward to tonight. So hopefully you all are. Hayley May is here, hello. Tamara Macmillan is unbelievably excited for this dish. Me too. I love a curry. There's 2 or 3 nights a week that we have it in one way or another. Tonight, the way I'm doing the Bani is a bit of an experiment, but hopefully it's going to work out and teach you guys something a little bit different. Sharon Bass, hello. Cindy and Sheesby, nice to see you as well. Jessica van der Laan says, yay. Petrus, back again for some more. Love it. I love seeing you guys every Wednesday. It's an absolute treat. I think it's the highlight of my week. It breaks it up quite nicely. I see some familiar names pop in here. I was walking through Checkers picking up some ingredients the other day. Someone's looking at me in the aisle there, looking. I've got a cap on and my mask, and I think I'm undercover. Coach Adrian, are you picking up some ingredients? So it was nice to meet a Jeffer face to face and not just see a name on the screen. Hopefully we'll be able to see more and more of you guys as things loosen up. Carla Vaderman, ready for this? Looks very yummy. It does indeed. Nikki Eelston, good evening. Belinda is also running a little bit late, but you got the night off, so you're going to cook with us all the way from Hamburg tonight. Looking forward to that. A little bit of home with the Bani Chao and proper home. I grew up in Natal, and Bani Chao is Durban through and through. Such interesting stories about how it possibly started and where it all came from. But there are various myths, most of them around really putting something in some bread that was an easier takeaway. So hollowing out the dough from the inside, it kept together a little bit better than a roti, and you could load it with banya, which type of curry, and that's where the Bani Chao kind of came from, something along those lines. Who here is from Durban? Check in. Let us know if you've got a good flavor profile here that'll remind you of home. Janet Tanner Ellis, date night is back on. Awesome. Thanks for sharing it with us. Carmen Barkhazen, very excited. Rachel Ann Fisher, hello. Swiping in. Guys, how awesome is the new app? For our Jeff members. Our one-on-one have been getting some of it for a while, and we've just opened up some more sort of functions for you guys, but our Jeff members as well have now all been uploaded onto the app. Super cool. So you can pick up your nutrition button, your nutrition dot tonight by saying that you were here. So check in, put the date in, and you can start collecting some of your nutrition points, and let's see how that goes. Swipe in. Make sure you log it. It hasn't happened unless you've checked in, and collect some points. There's loads of cool things coming from the nutrition side in both the members app as well as the one-on-one, which is cool. I've been spending the last few days filming all sorts of things for our one-on-one. So you guys are in for some real treats there. Nicole's here. Hello, Nicole. Jennifer Houston. Hopping to get going. Awesome. Carolyn Marsh, can't wait. Nice, guys. It's going to be delicious. So I'll see if there are any questions coming. What I want to do, we've just got another minute or two to chat. I'm going to run through the ingredients in case there's anything you need to put together quickly. If you haven't got anything, might be a bit late, but let's pop over and show you what our ingredients are. All right. So over here, firstly, we've got some chicken. So I gave you guys 2 options, either some chicken, some beautiful free-range chicken, or some butter beans. So we can do a animal-based protein or a vegetable-based protein, either of those. I've got some chicken thighs here just because they're my favorite cuts. There's 6 of them. You can use chicken breasts. We just get a little bit more flavor from the thigh, which is why I love it so much. I have my curry spice, which is a butter curry mix. You can just buy one. I'll show you an example. It's a very tasty one. Butter chicken curry spice. Otherwise, some garam masala goes in there. You can do some cumin, some curry powder, and some what else do we need to it? Have a look at the ingredient list. So that is our curry mix. Some garlic, 2 cloves chopped, and a thumb of ginger. We've got some chopped coriander, fresh coriander. We've got about 200 grams of nicely diced tomatoes, a chopped onion, some crushed tomatoes. Then we've got 2 cups of self-raising flour. If you're going to use some pea protein, which I'm going to chat you through, there's a 1/4 cup of that. So you can take a 1/4 cup of flour out of your flour mix. And then some yogurt, we've got 2 cups. Split it into 2, or we're going to use half and half. Half's going to go into your flour mix, and half is going to go into the curry. A little bit of butter. That's where the butter curry comes from. And some Jeff swag. What was that? So, guys, something cool happening today. I'm giving away some Jeff swag. So, Christmas is starting on Saturday, but I thought I'd jump in there early. And we've got an awesome Christmas workout on Saturday with Jono and Jules. But for anyone who signs up to our one-on-one program tonight, you're going to get a free pair of socks. So what you need to do, go in, sign up, use the code JeffCook22. 22, it's the 22nd of the month. JeffCook22. Sign up for a one-on-one, and I'm going to send you some free swag. Nothing's better than that. Awesome. So if you're on the fence, go and do it. These are all part of the one-on-one. We show you how these get into your meal plan, and all the cool content that we're busy putting on the app is going to be there for you. Great value, guys. It will change your life. If you're on the fence, go and do it, because I'm going to give you some swag as well. More on that a little bit later. So our ingredients, let me know if there's anything you're not quite sure on, and I can update you on it. Answer some questions. The Jones family's checking in again. I missed you guys, everyone who had a power failure last week and couldn't join me. I was very sad. But you're all back tonight by the looks of it. Numbers are climbing, which is cool. Karen Walker, hello. Karen was who I bumped into at Checkers. Nice to see your name again. Now I know what the face looks like as well. Michelle Rogers, hello legends. Roger Laufs from Durban originally. Brilliant. Nikki's from Escort. Liza has never had Bani Chao but loves curry, so this is going to be cool. Guys, preheat your oven to 180. All right, get it going. Richard Caulfield is Durban, obviously. Richard, I'm sure you love a Bani Chao. Bronwyn Collard, hello. Tanya says the app is amazing. It really is, guys. Unbelievable. The guys behind the scenes that have been putting that thing together have played out of their boots and out of their socks. Which has been amazing. Aidan Smith's evening, oven just broke. Flatbreads for us. So it is the flatbread recipe that I'm having a go at making it into a bunny. So let's see how that goes. All right, before I talk too much, no, everyone's checking in, which is awesome. Kathy doesn't have fenugreek, which is cool. So use some fennel if you want, or leave it out. So curry spice, you can go around with your own flavors. Make sure there's some garam masala in there. Either some paprika or chili powder if you want a little bit of heat with it. Some cumin, basis of that, and you're okay. You don't need to get too fancy. Fenugreek just gives it a little bit more of a flavor profile, but not the end of the world. All right, loving the Jeff swag promo code. Definitely JeffCook22, guys. Free socks. Awesome. Gregory, what additional veggies would complement this? So I'm going to do the tomatoes with the coriander as a little sort of sambal on the side, which is great. But if you want to roast some veggies up, that's cool. You could get a little bit of turmeric and maybe grill off some aubergines, which would be quite nice. That'd go with it, little aubergine cubes. It'd be fantastic. Or if you want to keep this very low carb, there are kind of 3 levels of carb in this one. You've got the full bunny, which if you need all the fuel is there. You got the kind of virgin bunny, so the little bit that you take out is called the virgin, the dough. Leave that on the side, give it to someone else who wants the full fuel, and you've just got the nice sort of bowl of bread. So that's kind of half your fuel. Or if you want to, what I did a little earlier, you can go full low carb and half a gem squash, and that's going to be our vessel for the low carb version, which is easy. So if you want to just steam off a couple gem squash, and you can use that to hold it, and that's great. Okay. Lisa Marie, double cream yogurts? No. So I don't believe in double cream yogurt. Full cream is cool. Adding more cream to yogurt doesn't really make sense in my mind. Just adding extra fat to something that's already got enough fat in it. So go full cream at most. Low fat if you want to keep it sort of leaner. There's not a lot of other fat in here. So it's not a typical butter curry that you might get from a takeaway that's got cream and loads of butter. And so you can get a little bit of fat from your yogurt, but not too much. Base it on your sort of goals. You know, if you want to keep it a little bit leaner, you can just drop the fat content of your yogurt, which is fine. All right. Let's see. So what I want to do, just see if there are any other questions before I start. And we are going to start with the dough. Okay. So I'm going to get my head chef in for the night. She's been upgraded. She got a raise.
Hi, guys.
There she is. The head chef, Master Chef herself. I'm taking on the sous chef role, as always. I did all the prep. Her workstation's ready to go. The knife sharp, everything's good, so we're going to get going. So
easy job.
The easy job, easiest one in the house. All right. Yeah, there are no other questions. Okay, cool. So, guys, your oven's on. Okay, preheat to 180. Hopefully, we've got a couple clean tins. That's what I meant by clean tin. There's obviously nothing inside it. The wrapper's off, else it's going to burn in there. Some of the pull ring tins will leave a little lip, a little edge here. You don't really want that. So if it was one that you opened with your tin opener, that's what you want, because it'll flatten it. Otherwise, if there's a little lip, just get your tin opener again and just flatten it so that it's not going to stop the bread from coming out at the end. Otherwise, you might have to cut it to get it out. So that's your tin. Clean one of those and grab a little bit of tin foil for later. That's going to go on it for when we cook. Put that aside. Right. So to make the dough, it's our famous flatbread recipe. And what you need is 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of yogurt. All right. So I'm just going to bring this around. You can see what our head chef is doing. More swag. I've got more to give away. Come on, guys.
Which yogurt?
All right. So in there is 2 cups of flour, self-raising flour, and a little bit of salt just to season it. And they're both yogurt, so just use one of those. They're each a cup. So a cup of yogurt goes into there. If you want to fortify this and get a bit more protein into your flour, I like to use a little bit of pea protein. So I've taken a 1/4 cup of flour out, and I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of pea protein flour, and it just gives a nice little flavor to it, as well as giving you a bit more of a balanced dough. So going into your flatbreads, there's a pretty similar pizza base that I'll share with you guys sometime. It's fantastic. That'll go in there with it. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, don't. It's totally cool. So 1/4 cup of pea protein. It might dry it out a little bit more than the flour. So if you need to, we might just add a little bit more yogurt so we get a nice doughy consistency out of that. You don't want to over knead it with the self-raising flour. So you just want to kind of bring it together. It's not like another sort of typical bread or pizza or something where you're trying to develop the gluten. We want to keep this fairly soft. At the end, it's going to be more of like a scone than like a bread roll. So it's going to be fantastic. All right. How are you guys doing there? Could you use coconut milk instead of yogurt? You can add some coconut milk to your curry instead of the yogurts, which is cool. I don't know how it'll affect the dough though. So Tanya, if you obviously on the one-on-one, you might be just keeping it low carb anyway. So if you're not doing it, that's cool. I wouldn't try add it to the bread. Or you can let me know how it goes. All right. When you take the bread out of the middle and you don't eat it. Yeah, that's what the virgin bunny is. Okay.
Need a bit more yogurt.
No, I think that's good. We'll just bring it together. Should be sticky-ish, but not too sticky. All right. So Gria's doing a great job there. It's breaking our fridge. Okay. So bring it together and we'll make this probably about 3 balls. They need to be half the height of our tin. So you just want to fill it to about half there. It's not going to rise the full way. It's not a yeasted bread, so we know danger of that. But we want some sort of 3 nice sized balls. Take over. Okay, so that's the size, but a nice cupped hand. Isabel knows that there's something happening here, so she wants to come and join us. All right. 2 flour to 1 yogurt. Yeah. 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of yogurt. Okay. So it's 1 to 1 in terms of weight, but volume it's 2 to 1. Okay. So we're just going to roll those guys up nicely. We don't have to overwork them. It's going to be super simple. And we're going to grease the tin and then put it in. So I'm just going to cook one of them so long so we can get it going. Got some spray and cook in my tin, and just so it doesn't stick. Done. Okay, and ball in there. That's what it looks like. Okay, so it goes to about there. It's cool. And you want to keep a little bit of steam in this as it cooks, just that will help it fluff up a little bit more. So tin foil over the top, and that'll just keep it in. So that's what it's going to look like. Right, so you should have enough for 3 or 4 balls, depending just on how big you want to make them and how many tins you've got. That's going to go in the oven at 180 for the next 15-20 minutes. Okay, super simple. Put those aside, and if you've got leftover dough, keep it. Make some very good flatbreads, like Adrian was doing. We've also got, you can do some bagels, which is cool. In the morning, if you want some carbs, then super simple. All right. We greased the tins with, you can just use a little bit of oil if you want. You can use some maize meal. I just used some spray and cook. Easy. Okay. So that's them. Just want to tell me in 15 minutes. It's ready. Okay, and it's going to go for about 15 or 20 minutes to cook. So it just depends how big your ball is, how long it's going to cook. All right, in place of spray and cook, just use a little bit of oil or a little bit of the butter that's going to go into the curry. Just rub it around, just so that when it rises, it doesn't stick to the side. Easy. Okay, a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, or some spray and cook.
Stand back.
All right, Sue Jeff is back. Okay, so what we're going to get onto next, all I want to do is put the tomatoes, onion, or half the onion and some coriander together. That's going to be our sambal. Just put it on the side so the flavors can kind of mix up. I thought I'm going to leave you guys with 2 tips for today. So the first one is this, a wet cloth under your chopping board. I thought of it today as one of the most valuable little lessons I kind of learned, so that your board doesn't slip around. And the second, I'm going to show you that I actually do a little bit of work, is I think the first video I ever watched on like the cooking channel was how to chop an onion. And this has served me quite well, and I showed someone the other day and they were blown away. I thought it was the way most people did it. I was just learning at the time. But cut your onion in half, okay? And keep that little stalky bit on. You can trim the other side of it, so just half. And then to cut it nicely, you can see, let's just bring that up. Okay, so it's on its half, and you just slice across without going the full way through the onion. So the stalk holds it together, and you're just getting a couple of those, so it's still intact. And then you go in the other direction, adjacent, so across. And all you do, it's still holding together, just pinch your fingers around it, and you're going to get nice little squares and cubes of finely chopped onion. So if you ever enter MasterChef and you do the challenge where whoever fills the most evenly sized things to enter and get on, maybe you can do that and tell them where you learned it. I won't claim it as my method, that's where I learned it. But so we had one onion, half of it is going to go into the frying pan, the other half we're going to mix with the tomato, the coriander, and we're just going to season that and put it to the side. Okay. We don't have 12. You just want to, yeah. So half your onion, your chopped tomatoes, not the one that came out the tin, the fresh tomatoes, so there's about 200 grams of that, and a good handful of coriander. We're just going to make a nice fresh sambal that'll go on the side with the curry. Okay.
Half of that, eh?
You can put that all in, that is half.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Super simple. You guys learned something. 2 things. Cool. Missed that about the sambal. Cool, I'm still on it, clear. So half your chopped onion, 200 grams of fresh, finely chopped tomatoes that Gria's going to put in there now, and then a good handful of fresh, finely chopped coriander. We'll season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And just mix it together and let it rest so that the flavors will kind of come together and it's nice. You've got a little pinch of vinegar, some wine vinegar might work quite nicely just to... I've actually got some apple cider vinegar. You don't have to put that in, I just thought of it as I was going here, just to squeeze. Alright, so salt and pepper, onion, tomato, coriander, nice fresh salsa on the side. You've ticked a couple of veg boxes with that, which is great. It's going to give you a freshness to go with the curry. Alright, catching up. Guys look good. Awesome. So, fantastic. We're going to put that aside. That's what it looks like. Smells nice. Smells really good. And that's just going to be for service a little bit later. Time for the curry. Okay, so we move over to the stove and make some space. Here's our stove. Got some onlookers there as well. We can be same without some Jeff socks in the back. Yeah, actually, look at this. This is how Gria walks around the house. We've got our Jeff swag on. So even when we're not training, we're not doing one of John or series sessions, still got our swag. It's Wednesdays, guys. Come on, put it on. And remember, you sign up for a one-on-one, Jeff Cook 22, we're going to send you some free socks because they're cool. So put your pan on a medium heat and just a teaspoon of whatever cooking oil you want to use. For curries, I like using unflavored coconut oil. If you've got some olive oil, it's cool. If you've got some canola oil, that's fine. So about a teaspoon that you can see Gria putting in there, which is perfect. All right. Get that up to a nice sort of medium-high heat. And what's going to go in first will be the other half of your onion and all of your spices. Get the spices in early so we can start to cook them off. And they're going to give a nice flavor, nice smell to the house. And we'll bang in some of the other aromatics.
Here's the other half of the onion.
It's over there. All right. On the one-on-one, is this still okay with some bread? So depending on your program on the one-on-one, everyone's is a little bit different. So if you've got portions of starch at night, you might need it. If it's low carb, you could just keep the shell and most of that's going to be a nice balance of just a little bit of protein and carbs in there. Otherwise, if you want to keep it totally low carb, half a steamed gem squash, you can just stuff it in there, and you've got a bit of extra veg in your dinner, which is easy. Okay. Right, so our oil is warming up, and Gria's going to pop in the onion. Got some butter flavored avo oil. Interesting, Kieran. Avocado oil is a fantastic one to cook with as well. Nice fat profile. So cooking at high heat, avo handles quite well. Okay, so the onions go in, and your spice mix. So butter chicken spice mix, or if you have some garam masala, some cumin, some paprika, chili powder, and some fenugreek, you can stick that in there. You can go wild if you want to do a bit of clove or cinnamon. Nice thing about curries is, you know, someone who's trying to do it authentically might complain, but it's yours to do what you want with. So the flavors that you like in there, stick them in there. It's cool. All right. Any other questions? How are you guys doing? You look up to date. Nicole says the onion tip is going to revolutionize things in the kitchen. I hate chopping and dicing. So do I. This one makes it so much easier. So that will hopefully make things better. Sharp knife and a little bit of cleverness in how we can slice and dice makes your life a lot easier. I forgot to mention the sharp knife is critical. If you don't have one, invest in a very good knife. Pop over to Yappy Chef, go pick up a good knife. One good chef's knife goes a long way. Make sure it's always sharp. Okay, just scrolling back. Any other questions? You guys look like you are on it. Our kitchen's starting to smell delicious. Cool, smelling great. So just fry it off for a minute or two with the spices, and then in there is going to go the garlic and the ginger. And just give that another minute or two, and then your crushed tomatoes will go in there after that. If you don't have crushed tomatoes, you've got chopped or whole tinned, it's fine. Just chop them up a little bit, send them through the blitzer beforehand. You'll actually, if you buy whole chopped tomatoes, you normally get a better quality out of them and a better flavor. And you can always puree them into whatever you want. So you can crush them, you can make them sort of finely chopped. And you get a lot nicer flavor if you're buying the tinned whole tomatoes as opposed to like the already crushed ones. Gerard, any tips on dicing tomatoes? So stick them in a food processor. Otherwise, sharp knife. If it doesn't break the skin, if you squash it and those little pips go everywhere, it is a nightmare. So sharp knife and just have a crack at it. Kids were famished, so made us curry earlier. Good. Better than RK's and Cane Cutters, the local restaurant. Pedro, awesome. From a DHS boy who will know everything about a Bani Chao. I'm sure you guys spent many an hour cruising down the strip. That is high praise. That's great to hear. All right. Nicole loves making these recipes. Some of the best feedback I ever get is someone who doesn't like cooking. And now, after doing a little bit of this, getting on a one-on-one program, learning some recipes and ideas, they now love it. That absolutely makes this worthwhile. That's why we do this. It's easy, doesn't have to be a chore. You can have a bit of fun in the kitchen. You can make some mistakes, not the end of the world. You know, fill up a glass of wine, take the evening off, and get stuck in. It's awesome. I'm also getting the spices now. So, sorry, it's just gone into the chest. Nikki just used whole tin tomatoes for a hit session. So there's one way of processing some tomatoes. You buy the whole tin ones and you do one of John or Sari's classes, or Durkee's, who's just gone. And after the end of it, you will have some tomato puree. Richard was a Westport boy. Nice. Nontlantla's back, enjoying this in a healthy way. It is. So curry, so often a takeaway. You don't have to do it. Something like this, it's going to be super quick to put together and get on a plate, and it's going to be way healthier. Loads of your curries are just calorie bombs. There's butter and there's oil and there's cream. There's all sorts of things, and it's served with a big pile of rice. So sometimes you can get the balance quite wrong. Do it at home, loads of flavor. You can control what goes into there, and it doesn't have to take long to cook. All right. So Gria's added the crushed tomatoes, and we're going to let that cook for a little bit. And this is my chicken. I'm just going to take the skin off. I want to keep it nice and lean. And I'll dice it quickly just so it cooks quicker. So the smaller your proteins, or the smaller that anything is that goes into your meals, the quicker it's all going to cook. So a nice tip when you are ever in a rush and you want to get all the flavors and you want to get things cooked, the smaller you chop them and the smaller you can dice them, the quicker it's going to get onto a plate. All right. So skin comes off the chicken. If yours already is skinless, just dice it up into little chunks. We've got another 5 or 6 minutes on the bunnies that are in the oven. And our kitchen's smelling fantastic. There's loads of spices going on. All right. So I'm just going to slice the chicken into manageable bite-sized pieces. Season it with a bit of salt and pepper. And then pop it in there. If you want a little bit more flavor on it, you can fry it separately on the side. Just means you've got another pan to clean, which isn't cool. So the more we can do in one pot, the better. Especially when you've got to do the washing up, which is Gria's job. She's not here. How are you guys doing? Everyone on track still? Okay. Last little bit of chopping, and we're going to chuck the chicken in there. Will you just season it with some salt and pepper? Nice chicken. Okay. And that's going to pick up all the lovely curry flavor, the tomatoes that are cooking off there. You can see it's thickened up nicely. Most of the liquids come off. Okay. Bang up the heat a little bit and just cook that for 3 or 4 minutes. Then if you're using your butter beans as the vegetarian option instead of the chicken, just hold off from those. We don't want them to, they've already cooked. So I'm going to pop those in, well, you would be popping them in with the yogurts at the next step. If you've got them and you want to add them to your chicken, cool, why not? You can get a nice bit of extra fiber in there. You can get a plant-based protein. You can do your chicken and your butter beans at the same time, which is fine. Otherwise, just hold off into the next step, reduce your heat, and we'll put the yogurt and the butter beans in together. Okay. So I'm going to check on that Bani in 2 minutes and see how it's going. You guys let me know how you do. Carl is just watching tonight, which is cool. I don't mind. As long as you guys give it a crack at some point, beautiful. Coach Lee is loving the pace of this evening. It is a little bit more relaxed, isn't it? So some time for some wine. I don't know if it's true. I heard the story that all wines or alcohol sales are now gone until the end of lockdown, which means we don't have anything yet. So it's this is as much as we've got. It's going to be a couple months of some alcohol-free Wednesday cook-togethers, unfortunately. So hopefully that was just a bit. Kim's going to be making this on the weekend. Add spinach to bulk up, definitely. Nice way. You want to pop some spinach in there, great. Bit of greenery, fantastic. Guys, the more veg you get into something, the better it is. So it's perfect. Hey, Shangan. Rito Hlongwani from down the road is here. Storm's coach.
Hello, Rito.
Hopefully you're picking up some tips for the lads. Coach Bridget is here. Nice of you guys to pop in, say how's it. Jessica's using chickpeas instead of chicken. Cool. So any legume would work quite nicely. So butter beans just rhymed with butter chicken, which is why I used them. There's a nice little sweetness to it. But chickpeas will be cool as well. You could use some red kidney beans, be fantastic. All of those nice good sources of protein, which is fantastic. Evan wants to know if Coach Louis will allow us. Well, maybe if it's part of your day and a half off, why not? We need to tie this in some Wednesday nights into that. Next week is our Christmas in July cooked together, and we're going to have a lovely special one. So watch out for that. I'm finalizing the menu. I'm still looking at some ideas, but we might have to tie something in there with a day and a half off just to make it a super special one. From Saturday, Christmas in July, check in with Jono's class, and then we've got a full 7 days of all sorts of fabulous things happening. I told you guys I'm starting off Christmas in July a little early, so tonight and tomorrow, if you sign up for a one-on-one and you use Jeff Cook 22, I'm going to send you some free socks. All right, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. If you sign up and use Jeff Cook 22, you're going to go into a little pot, and we are going to do a cook together with you. So if you're in Cape Town, and once COVID allows us to move around, I'll bring everything around to your kitchen and we'll run through it together. If you're not in Cape Town, we'll stream you in. I'll still send you all the ingredients and we'll do it that way. So guys, that'll entice you. So we'll get to work with you and get things done. All right, how's that for an offer? And you get some free socks. Cool, guys, how's your kitchen smelling? Our chicken is looking and smelling fantastic. Chicken breasts and thighs will cook nice and quickly. Those are almost ready to go. We're actually just close to plating. So what I want to do, our other cup of yogurt is going to go in there now. If you're using your beans, your chickpeas, pop those in. And instead of adding cream that you might from a butter chicken that you get in a takeaway or a restaurant, the yogurt's going to give us that lovely creaminess, a little bit more protein in there as well, and a much better balance to the meal. Okay, our butter, well, Bani is almost done. I'm just going to give it another couple of minutes while we finish that up. Claire Powell says it smells amazing. Krista Coker says it smells amazing. Alison says it looks delicious. Hopefully it tastes as good. All right. Yes, I do mean non-starchy veg. Your sister says hello, Grub.
Hello, Kimmy. Or Bobs, which one?
Bobs. Carla, Vitamin, the garlic and ginger. Yes, so that went in just after we added the spices to the onion. If it's not in already, pop it in now. You're just going to have to cook it out for a while. That went in just before the tomatoes, but just let it cook through. How's everyone else doing? Looking good. Smelling divine, they say. Brilliant. Cheryl, as much as I love a gem squash, am I allowed the bread? Coach Chris, might crack the whip there. If you really want it, use your day and a half, guys. That's what it's there for. If the carbs aren't on your goals or aren't on your meal plan, you've got a day and a half to be flexible. Remember that. All right, Sandra says she might have a go and cook it. I hope so. I really, really hope so. Rosalinda says it looks delicious. Smelling really good. I'm starting to get So, out the oven. Hopefully. Whew. How cool is that? Smells fantastic. It's going to have a nice sort of scone-like texture. If you're in the States, they call these kinds of things made in this way biscuits. The Irish call it soda bread, where it's kind of making a bread from self-raising flour. There's no yeast that goes into it. So, super. How lekker is that? Let it cool down for a second. Cook through the curry. and we are ready to plate in a minute. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds, see how you all go. Grocery run tomorrow with Tasmania. Does look delicious, doesn't it? Kathy Down says it's smelling super. Brilliant stuff, guys. Okay, you do need this deliciousness. Okay. And next week's going to be even better. Christmas in July. Why not? Cool. So, get ready to plate. Turn that off. Oh, we didn't stick the butter in there.
Oh, well, when was I supposed to do that?
Sorry, my bad. So the butter, which is just going to give it some flavor, you don't need to add it if you want to keep the calories down. We're just going to melt that last sort of tablespoon in there. It's really just for flavor, and because it's a very lean dish, that's our source of fat here. Remember, everything's balanced when there's protein, there's fiber, and there's fat. So because everything else is quite lean, that's what we've stuck in. Okay, so I've got my bunny, and I need a nice sharp knife. The second knife that every kitchen is better with is one of these tree knives. Goes a long way. So take your bunny, you're just going to slice off the top from there. Okay. Careful if yours is still hot, let it cool down for a second. It smells great, looks good. And we're just going to go from the top just to get the filling out. And if you're doing the gem squash, it's already done for you. You just got to take the seeds out. All right, so this virgin comes out. That's super. Okay, and we're gonna dish up a little bit of the curry is going to go in there. Going to get it to look pretty too. Okay. And our sambal. If you want to bulk it up with any other veg, feel free to. You might need a little bit more protein and get a slightly bigger serving of your chicken curry. That there, there's my camera, is what it looks like. Okay, that's some beautiful backdrops of our socks. And if you've got the other, just using your gem squash, you can use another veg as well if you want to. Things like peppers fill really well. You can use a roast pepper as your bunny, your low carb bunny. Or you can hollow out some aubergine, which would be quite nice as well. Aubergines go really nice with curry, so it would work well. You've got a low carb version with our sambal inside. Okay, done. 2 ways. Okay, we've got our low carb. Looks pretty cool. And the reason why we're all here was that. Sambal with a lovely butter chicken curry. If you can use chicken, use some chickpeas or butter beans. Totally cool. Let us know what yours looks like. Hello. She hasn't been here all evening.
Well, she's been around. She just hasn't said hello. Say hello.
She can smell the food, so that's why Izzy's come to check out what's happening.
Hello.
Dinner number 3.
Pick your nose.
Guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing what yours looks like. Post on the Jeff Together page. Let us know. Stick it all up there. Let us kind of see what it's like. If you did anything different, if you used the butter beans or if you used the chickpeas, I'd love to know how that came out and how your bunnies look. Mine smells great. I tried some a little earlier just to make sure that they worked and they tasted good. So I'm expecting things here. So quite excited to see. Put them on the Jeff Together page and tag me and let me know how it goes. Remember, you've got today and tomorrow to sign up for our one-on-one and get some free socks and possibly be part of our next Cook Together, which will be loads of fun. Next week, we have our Jeff Ed on Tuesday again. Check in through your members app and you can pick it all up there. Swipe in for your sessions, collect your dots. Next week, we do have our Christmas in July running throughout. So it starts on Saturday with Jono and Jules's workout. Loads of cool prizes up for grabs for the entire week. On Saturday, we're giving away our one-on-one program. And then through the week, there's all sorts of cool things. So get involved, stick around, enjoy a little bit of mid-year Christmas. Nothing beats a Christmas in July. And we're going to have a special Cook Together next week. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Last couple questions before I check out for the night and collect my dot as well. Petrus is asking, why is it called Bani Chao? So I gave it a little bit of a history, but the Bani is from Bania, which is a type of curry. And Chao is really just another word for food. So Bania Chao. Pretty simple. A recipe of the weekend, Shani, definitely alternative to coriander, so you can use some parsley. Coriander is one of those things you either love or you hate. So if you hate it, cool, just do some parsley and tomato. You can make a bit of a sort of salsa thing with that. Nice and fresh, which is cool. Right. Claire says it's yum. She's excited to dig in. Fantastic. Aiden's going to post some pics. Brilliant, guys. Really looking forward to that. Natalia says the aromas are delicious. By all accounts, things are looking good. Belinda, I really want to know how yours went. So you had the night off and you were cooking along with us. So I hope it hits the spot over there in Hamburg. Lisa says, thank you. It was awesome, guys. Cool. So I'm starving. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to see you guys next week, Tuesday for Jeff Ed, and then later in the week for our next Cook Together. Really looking forward to it. As always, it's been great. Any ideas, any comments, any things you want to see, guys, please feel free to send them my way. And I will check in with you guys again next week. Have a good evening. Enjoy the food. Cheers, guys.